Good day, everyone, and welcome to Home at the Hollow. My name is Glennis, and welcome to my kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to share with you a starter. Now, I got into a wee bit of a, kind of a discussion with a subscriber and someone I consider a very dear friend, and they asked me about friendship starter, a friendship cake, friendship bread, and different things like that. And I don't know if this is like a regional, thing, but I'm going to try to explain some of the differences. And of course, we all know what a sourdough starter is your basic yeast and a few other ingredients in a large container. But I believe I referred to maybe one or two recipes here on this channel as far as a friendship, recipe, whether it be bread or, cake or something like that. Now, what I have become accustomed to is when you refer to like a friendship bread, to me, this means enough ingredients and making enough for you to have one and for you to gift someone else. And I believe that they said, well, don't you have to, like use a sourdough starter for a friendship recipe? Well, no. But what we're going to do here today, or what I'm going to do here today, is make a friendship cake starter, so to speak. It's really basic pantry ingredients. It is not, cooked over months and months and months, like a sourdough and keeping a sourdough going. This is 5 days, and at the end of 5 days, you strain it. And of course, I'm going to do that here, but you strain it. It would be a good idea if you're going to gift someone to maybe have a few extra glass jars kicking about, but really super basic ingredients. And I'm gonna, of course, y'all know I'm gonna drop everything below, but it's, cherries, crushed pineapple, apricots, coconut, raisins, apple juice, and of course some yeast. And I would definitely suggest a candy thermometer. So, because we're going to slightly warm this apple juice and get started on our starter. Now, if this is something that interests you, or if you just want to come and hang out with me for a little while, and I always hope you do, then keep on watching. I'm starting warming my apple juice. I've got 3 cups of apple juice, and we are going to just bring this up to 110 degrees. You don't want it to boil. And, you don't necessarily have to do this to rise the yeast. The yeast will rise on its own. This is to simply, when I pour it in my big glass container, to make sure that my granulated sugar is totally dissolved. So I'm going to stand here and stir this until we reach 110 degrees. I've brought my apple juice out. It's warmed up very, very nicely. And I also added some of my pear juice that I had in the freezer from the pear ginger muffins. I hope you try those. But anyway, we're going to just pour this apple juice right there. I've got a half a cup of granulated sugar. And I want to get that mixed before I add anything else, as best I can. And there you go. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. This is a 10-ounce container of the maraschino cherries that I'm hoping will... And there you go, juice and everything. the whole thing. Give that a wee bit of a stir. And a envelope of active dry yeast. And give that a good stir. Make sure this is mixed up well. And what I'm going to do once this is mixed, I'm going to cover this. You can either cover it with whatever it is that you have, but I'm going to use some plastic cling wrap. I'm going to come back at lunch and give this a good stir again, and then I'm going to come back, I guess, before I go to bed and give it one more stir, and then let it set and leave it be until tomorrow. It smells really good. Of course, you know, I mean, it's a bunch of cherries, but it smells really, really good. And there you go. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And I'm back on day 2. So the only thing that you really need to do on day 2 is to stir this mixture twice during the day. So it's morning for me. I'm going to give it a stir. Last night, I don't know what I felt compelled to do, but last night when I was stirring it before I went to bed, I took actually some of the cherries and just kind of smashed them up against the side of the glass. Why? I couldn't tell you. Maybe I thought maybe it would just, you know, put out a little bit more flavor, but that's what I did. So stir it twice on day 2, and that's all you need to do. Here we are at day number 3, and it's looking really good. I've got 2 cups of raisins, and just add these. And all you have to do today is just give them a wee bit of a stir. And cover them back up and set them aside until tomorrow. So we are at day 4. Now, when I got up this morning, of course, I came and I took a peek, and I could see where my mixture, just on the top edges of the mixture, was starting to bubble. Now, I don't know whether it has taken a little bit longer for me because I do keep kind of a cool house, but I did take a photo, which is right here. And on day 4, you want to add 7 ounces of dried apricots, and I've chopped these very, very well, and which is about a cup and a quarter about. I'm going to just add these and just to give it a stir. You can see it's starting to thicken up. I think you can see. I think you can. Sorry. The aroma of cherries seems to have subsided a bit, and I still see a few whole cherries in here. My raisins are looking really good, but basically this is all you need to do for day 4, and just give it a stir, cover it back up, and wait until tomorrow. And here we are on day 5. Yay! And this cake starter mixture looks really, really good. I'm going to add a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple and to give it a bit of a stir. And yeah, everything looks just, let's see if I can, looks really good. Looks excellent. And it smells good too. There's no one identifying fruit like it used to be. what I'm going to do is I've got a bowl here, a strainer here, and I am going to just dump all of this that I can. And I do have another bowl here, although I don't think it's going to be large enough. I'm going to get this one. This will work. I'm going to press out as much liquid as I can. But oh yeah, doesn't that look just really, really pretty? This is going to make a beautiful gift for someone or something to have in your fridge. And there you go. And we're just going to put that in there and give my hands a wee bit of a wipe. And now what I've got here is I've run my glass dishes through the dishwasher, very, very hot stuff. And I think I'm going to start, now if I'm going to just use this for myself, I would probably use larger jars, but if you want to do some gift giving in this, with this, of course, at least 2 cups, because that is going to be 2 cups, a combination of the fruit and the liquid that will go in your cake. So I'm going to say this is a cup and a quarter. Get the next one ready. And then about 3/4 of a cup of liquid. That was half a cup. And if I can find my wide mouth jar. And this is what you have for gift giving. Now, if you want to give this as a gift, of course, you can just gift this, but probably what I would do is I would bundle this with a yellow cake mix and with the recipe, of course, and there you go. Now, if you were doing this, you know, at Christmas, or, you know, if there's a big holiday coming up where, you know, July 4th, people are getting together, you know, you want to make something quick and easy and you want to gift something, this mixture must be refrigerated. It will stay refrigerated up to 2 weeks, and that's about it. So now, I have never tried freezing it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try freezing it. There is plenty of room. I think you can see there's plenty of room for freezing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the recipe. I'm going to get this divided up first and clean up my big mess. But I'm going to go ahead and make the cake that this friendship starter is intended for. So this made exactly four 2-cup containers. This is very, very nice. Going to make a very nice gift. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this cake. Excuse the fan on the oven, but when I'm preheating, my oven automatically shuts off. I'm going to mix together some packed brown sugar, and as I'm sure most of you all know, I'll drop all the ingredients list below. I'm going to add some chopped pecans to that. This is for a topping. This is not to mix in the cake. This is just for topping. 2 tablespoons of butter, unsalted, salted, whatever you have is good. And I'm going to just give that a wee bit of a mix and set that aside. just set this there. I have my bowl. Now you want to, at this point, probably you're going to want to grease a 9 by 13 pan. And as you all know, I do have a recipe for a combination of that you can grease your pans and flour them at the same time. I will drop a link to that below. I have one for just regular cake and one for chocolate, and these work awesomely. And I actually do keep them in the fridge just like that. So I'm going to get started on my cake. I've got my starter here. I've got some vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you have is totally fine. 3 well-beaten eggs. And I think that I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And here we go, a yellow cake mix. Just going to add that, if I can. And just give this a good mix. Now at this point, this is pretty darn thick. I'm going to add my starter. And remember, it does have quite a bit of liquid in it. If you want to hand mix it, that's fine. I'm going to just mix it on low. At this point, I don't honestly think that mixing it on low on like this is going to hurt any of the fruit in here. I'm going to give this a little bit of, I'm going to scrape the sides. It's really, super thick mixture. So you definitely are going to want to scrape the sides and the bottom of this. But it's looking, not bad. And give it one more. Well, okay. Oh, definitely fun in the kitchen, right? It's just that easy. This is going to be so good. I wish that you all could smell this. This smells really quite nice. With the fruit, of course, y'all know I love my fruit and vegetables, but I'm not quite sure and the cake is quite the best format for me, but I can tell you, I will have one taste of this. And what you're going to want to do, now mine looks like it's, but I'm going to go ahead and just push this into the corners because, it will help when your cake starts to bake, starts to rise, instead of it rising up from the top and, your edges being kind of, maybe not as full as they should be. I like to go ahead and spread it out. It will work out. I'm going to take this and just sprinkle the brown sugar, butter, and pecans or walnuts, whatever works for you. I just happen to always have pecans in my kitchen. Always. Being born and raised in the deep South, I could go over to my grandmother's house and we could walk over to a public area and there was a pecan orchard and pick up as many as you want. And just, give this a bit of a spread. And I am going to put this in a 350 oven for about 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, depending on your oven. The sides will, kind of start to pull away, but just do, a skewer test for doneness, 45 minutes at 350. And here we are 40 minutes later, and it looks slightly golden brown, and this looks incredibly delicious. I am not going to frost this. It is really, for me, I think probably will be sweet enough when I go to serve it. I'll just do a little dusting of some confectioner's sugar, but if you want to frost this, then you go right ahead. But basically, this is done, and we're going to have a taste in just a moment. And I'm so happy to be back with y'all. This cake, I can tell you guys, this cake smelled so good baking, and I haven't done anything to it other than cut it. And you can see the raisins, and you can see the apricots and little things like that. Now, I'm going to tell you really quick, I'm not a cherry fan, so we are just going to see about that. But I've kind of been going through a bunch of stuff this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and dust it a little bit with my confectioner sugar, just a little bit. And like I said, I was kind of going through all my stuff, and I'm like, I've got this really nice toasted coconut, and I'm like, okay, why not, right? There's pineapple and cherries and other things in it, but I'm going to have one taste and one taste only. The rest of it is going to get cut up, packaged very well, and frozen. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I am going to gift my neighbors with the bottles that I bottled up, but I'm going to take just one taste, that big of a taste. This is really good. I can't taste the cherries. I mean, there's not like a cherry flavor coming through. And I'm not tasting like you would anticipate, like yeast coming through. I'm not tasting any of the yeast coming through. I don't really even taste, excuse me, that it's a cake mix. And there's a lot of things that you can do with a cake mix so they, just don't have that cake mix flavor. And I think that's one reason why I personally prefer to make a cake from scratch. The texture is just second to none. The flavor, of course, is going to be what you put into it. But I think with everything that has been put in it and a little bit of really great vanilla extract, this is a real winner. I'm going to encourage you guys to, make this, maybe not necessarily now, certainly at Christmas. I think it would make a just incredible Christmas gift with a pretty bow, maybe a box cake mix to go with it, and of course the directions or my video. You could always share my video. That would be wonderful. But this is really so good. You can see the apricots. I think you can see the apricots in it. And it's really, really delicious. I don't feel it needs any frosting at all. But that's just me. I mean, I like sweets, but not, pucker sweet. But there you go. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me. If you have liked my videos, if you've enjoyed my recipes, and I always hope that you do, I hope you consider subscribing and join me here again, home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.